it automatically made your consistency easy for you. It didn't make it hard anymore. You just have to do it. You don't think twice about it. Somebody says to you, how do you do it, man? I just got to do it. I don't think about it. I just do it. That's it. Now, if we really, really believed, like we believe we will lose our job when we don't show up on time, right? If we really, really believed that we are heading for loss, and there are certain behaviors that need to enter into our life, like the regularity of salah, for example, like the abandonment of vain activity, for example. If we were really convinced that not changing our behavior will lead us to loss, like the loss of a job, right? Like, nobody's going to be late for their immigration appointment. They're going to be there 2 hours early, right? They're going to prepare the night. They have Qiyam al-Layl the night before, because it's at 6 a.m., so they won't go to sleep. They'll be there early, because they are convinced this has to do with, if they don't do this, they will be in loss. If we are truly convinced this will lead to loss, then changing one day, rather changing your whole life becomes very easy. But when does it become easy? When there is belief. Which is why when Allah talked about khusr, what's the first exception He mentioned? Those who what? They believe. There's not just casually, those who believe, yeah, I'm included. No. This is not the kind of belief we're talking about here. This is real, deep conviction that what I am doing is directly connected to my success, directly connected to my failure. I better change my ways. I better get my act together. This is just in the word al-asr itself. Just in the word, how it's being squeezed and drenched away, and I don't have time. The students, those of you that are students here, you have an assignment due, and you forgot to do it. There's time running out, right? The kind of urgency you will see in a student, the kind of urgency to study for the exam before the final, the kind of urgency you will see for an accountant in tax season, the kind of urgency you will see, for example, if you're late to work, the kind of behavior you will have at home, things will be upside down. You better not be late. You're going to turn the whole house up. Nothing matters at that time. You won't care about breakfast or this or that or the other. You will go because there's a sense of urgency. You are convinced you will be in trouble if you don't do it. You're absolutely convinced. We have to compare that conviction to our conviction in terms of our deen. And our if your boss says to you, I swear to you, you are in trouble. If your boss says that to you, he says, I swear, he comes into the office, he doesn't point at you. He says, every single employee is in trouble. I swear. Every single one. They're gonna lose big. When he walks away, do you think any of the employees say, not me, I'm okay? Nope. He didn't specify, right? He didn't say some people are in trouble. He didn't say that guy over there is in trouble. What did he say? Every single one. You're all in trouble. And you're gonna find out pretty soon, time's running out. There's a deadline. You're going to find out very, very soon how much trouble you're really in. Now when you hear that, in dunya, there's a sense of urgency. There's, oh my God, what am I supposed to do? What does he want? Why is he angry? Is it something we're not doing? Now think about this. When you get a job, and I'm giving you these examples so we understand the rest of the surah well, inshallah ta'ala. This is a critical surah for the life of a Muslim. It is such a gift from Allah that He gave us 3 ayat that can change our life. You don't have to memorize Quran to change your life. Just remember Surah Al-Asr, man. Subhanallah. How it will transform your life. How it will transform your life. Now think about this. You get a job. Your boss says to you, you got 4 tasks. Every day, you have how many? 4 tasks. Sometimes your boss gives you tasks that you're really good at. And sometimes you have tasks that you don't like doing. But because this is your job, how many tasks do you have to do? All 4. You only like 2 of them, but you still have to do 4. 2 of them you enjoy doing, 2 of them you don't enjoy doing, but you still do 4. Now if some of you decide, or I decide, I'm just going to do 2 of those. Because I'm really good at those 2. I'm not going to even touch the other 2. I'm not worried about that. He'll be okay. When he sees how impressive my first 2 are, he'll forget about the other 2. So you don't do the other 2 tasks. And the boss comes after a week, so what's the story? Where are you on the progress? I finished the first 200%. Oh, what about the other? Actually, I'm not going to do those. But see how good I did the first 2. What's going to happen to this person? What do you think is going to happen? He's going to keep his job? No. Even if you did not the best job, but at least you did your best for all 4. You didn't get 100%. You got a 70% for all 4. That's better than you getting 100% for one of them. You understand? So when Allah sets out 4 conditions, إِلَّا الَّذِينَ آمَنُوا وَعَمِلُوا الصَّالِحَاتِ وَتَوَاصَوْا بِالْحَقِّ وَتَوَاصَوْا بِالصَّبْرِ. And we say, Iman, yeah, we should work on our Iman. Some good deeds. And you say, this other stuff, this is for speakers. This is for da'i, this is for the shaykh, this is for somebody, this is not for me. This is for somebody else. Then what are you doing? You're saying, Allah says, everyone's in trouble except people who meet 4 conditions, but you're only interested in 2, or 1, or 3, or whatever. You're picking and choosing, that is also in loss. It's all or nothing. It's all or nothing. That's the attitude we have to develop in regards to this surah. I'll take 10 more minutes, inshallah ta'ala. We'll probably have to have a 3rd session about Surah Al-Asr, inshallah. That was my fear originally, was 3 sessions on Surah Al-Asr. Walillahi alhamd. Okay. Let's get to Inna al-insana lafi khusr. First of all, the word inna. Inna is used in the Arabic language, not just to mean certainly, but to talk to a group of people that are in doubt about what you are saying. By using the word inna in Inna al-insana lafi khusr, we are already learning that most human beings, when they hear this, guess what? They don't believe it. They don't believe that it's that bad. It can't be that bad, bro. That's a pretty depressing lecture you gave. It can't be that bad. And Allah is making sure you understand, for sure this is the case. Inna. Rhetorically, it's used لِإِزَالَةِ الشَّكِّ. It is used to remove doubt. And by saying that, I say the doubt already exists. The doubt already exists. And you would think this is talking to al-kafir. Some mufassirun said, al-insan ay al-kafir. But then other mufassirun came with even stronger dalil against that. Why? Because al-istithna at the end, illa, with the exception. Because Allah put exception, it's all humanity. If it was al-kafir, then there wouldn't be an exception to the kafir. Kafir is kafir. But because it's illa at the end, this is referring to each and every single human being. Now let's look at the word insan quickly. The word insan, we've talked about this before because it's come up many times in different surahs. The word insan comes from different roots, it's argued. One of them is nisyan, forgetfulness. And part of that is the human being can be reminded that he's in really, really deep trouble, but what happens soon after? Forgets. You hear a khutbah, you get reminded, you remember, and you say, man, seriously, I got to get my act together. And then by the time you get to the car in the parking lot of the masjid, you've already forgotten. Insan. Human beings, Allah gave him a covenant before he even came to this earth. أَلَسْتُ بِرَبِّكُمْ قَالُوا بَلَى شَهِدْنَا. In Surah Al-A'raf, he said, am I not your master? We said, yes, of course you are. We bear witness. We bore witness to Allah that He's our master. When we came to this earth, guess what happened? We forgot. We forgot. We forget the seriousness of saying La ilaha illallah. We forget the power of saying Muhammadur Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam. We forget. So the word insan, as opposed to al-fard, the individual, an-nafs, the person. There are different words that are alternatives. Al-bashar, the people, an-nas. But al-insan here, 2 benefits of it. 1, to allude to our forgetfulness. And 2, the word insan is individual, it's called ism lil jins. The benefit of knowing that is, this word includes 2 things. It includes all categories, meaning all human beings, and at the same time it's singular. And here we have to learn something. This is the last thing we'll share for today, inshallah ta'ala, just a little bit about the word insan, is the concept of the diffusion of responsibility. This is a concept in psychology. It's called diffusion of responsibility. All of you are here. Let me give you a classroom example or a home example. My kids are at home. I have 5 kids, alhamdulillah. They're at home, they're running around. As I'm leaving the house, I say to them, be good, and I close the door. I just say, be good. Are they going to be good? No. This is what you call diffusion of responsibility. But if I open the door and I say, Husna, don't bother your sister. Waliya, don't draw on the wall. Huda, don't yell. Imad, go to sleep. If I specify, then are they going to be more responsible? Yes. If I say generally, then what happens? It must be talking about someone else, I'm already good. You understand? The teacher says, in the classroom, the kids are making lots of noise. The teacher says, be quiet everyone. Does it work? But the teacher takes one student and makes an example out of them. Everybody's making noise. This is, by the way, for teachers, this is a good tip. Okay, everybody's making noise. You single out one student. Kareem, you want to keep talking? Just one. Guess what's going to happen to everybody else? Everybody chills out. Why? You specify. There's no more diffusion of responsibility. It didn't get divided up. And a lot of times when people are given a responsibility, they start assuming, yeah, it's important, but there's always someone else who can do it. Right? Yeah, there's trouble. The teacher walks in, you guys are in big trouble. The teacher says, you guys are in big trouble. Not that scary. I pick on Kareem again. Kareem, you don't know how much trouble you're in. Is that far more scarier for Kareem? It is, isn't it? Now to say, إِنَّ النَّاسَ لَفِي خُسْرٍ, people are in trouble, people are in loss, that's one thing. إِنَّ الْإِنسَانَ, each and every single individual, forgetful human being is immersed in a state of loss. So when the human being hears this ayah, who is he to think about? Himself. Forget everybody else. Forget everybody else. It's just, I am in trouble. I shouldn't think about anybody else right now, I should only be thinking about myself. When it comes to our salvation, being saved on the Day of Judgment, there is no charity. On that day, the mother doesn't care about the child. The mother doesn't care about the child. With the exception of Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam, the people, the prophets alayhi wasallam are saying, we can't make shafa'a for you. Go someone else. I have nothing to give you. That is the day when brother is running from brother. Best friends are no longer best friends. وَتَقَطَّعَتْ بِهِمُ الْأَسْبَابِ يَوْمَ يَفِرُّ الْمَرْءُ مِنْ أَخِيهِ وَأُمِّهِ وَأَبِيهِ. On that day, you love your family so much, and by the way, we sometimes out of love of people, we do really bad things. Right? We do really, really bad things. And those same people, the person who's about to be thrown in hellfire on the Day of Judgment, he says, وَمَنْ فِي الْأَرْضِ جَمِيعًا ثُمَّ يُنْجِيهِ. He says to Allah Azza wa Jal, لَوْ يَفْتَدِي مِنْ عَذَابِ يَوْمِئِذٍ بِبَنِيهِ وَصَاحِبَتِهِ وَأَخِيهِ. Can I be saved from the punishment in exchange for my son? Can you throw my son, my baby, can you throw him in hell instead of me? That's what the guy will say. And my wife, and my brother, and my mother, وَأُمِّي وَأَبِيهِ وَفَصِيلَتِهِ, and his extended family. وَمَنْ فِي الْأَرْضِ جَمِيعًا. He will look at all humanity and say, oh Allah, you're about to throw me, why don't you take all of them instead? All of them. Just let me be saved. ثُمَّ يُنْجِيهِ, then he should be saved. SubhanAllah. That is the state of affairs. Now think about that. This day, on that day you will forget everyone. So what we're learning here is, this is the time to forget everyone first. You should be concerned about them second. Who should you be concerned about first? Yourself. I say this with all sincerity and goodwill at heart to the parents of Muslim children. We are so worried about our children, we're not too worried about ourselves. My kids got to go to an Islamic school. We got to make sure that they're in a good environment. What about your good environment? Why are you watching that stuff? Why are you talking like that? Why are you cheating in business? Why aren't you getting up for salah? We remember those we love, and we forget who? Our own selves. SubhanAllah. Can you talk to this? Can you talk to that? They'll come to the shaykh, the imam. Can you talk to my kids? They need some advice. You don't need advice? Really? Because I would think if you messed up in raising your kid, the first person who needs advice is you. What happened all these years? Where have you been? Where's the parent been who's supposed to do his job? SubhanAllah. So إِنَّ الْإِنسَانِ, bringing responsibility to ourselves, the state of emergency, the fact that we are not safe from loss. We're not even discussing loss yet. That's later on in the ayah. We're just at إِنَّ الْإِنسَانِ. And I think it suffices to conclude here, inshaAllah ta'ala, as far as today's dars. And bi'idhnillah, next Tuesday we'll try and wrap up the dars on Surah Al-Asr. But إِنَّ الْإِنسَانَ لَفِي خُسْرٍ. No doubt, each and every single human being, as forgetful as they are deeply immersed in loss. And as they realize that, they should also realize that Allah has already sworn, time is running out. Time for them to change their behavior is running out. May Allah Azza wa Jal help us internalize the lessons from Surah Al-Asr. May Allah Azza wa Jal embed these lessons onto our hearts, that we may constantly remember them. May Allah make us like the Sahaba, who whenever they met each other, they wouldn't part each other. لَمْ يَتَفَرَّقَا حَتَّى يَقْرَأَ. They wouldn't leave each other's company until they would recite to each other, وَالْعَصْرِ إِنَّ الْإِنسَانَ لَفِي خُسْرٍ إِلَّا الَّذِينَ آمَنُوا وَعَمِلُوا الصَّالِحَاتِ وَتَوَاصَوْا بِالْحَقِّ وَتَوَاصَوْا بِالصَّبْرِ اللهم اجعلنا من الذين آمنوا وعملوا الصالحات وتواصوا بالحق وتواصوا بالصبر آمين يا رب.